out there for the first time the other night?
Felt good. As a basketball player, I mean, all you want to do is hoop, be out there with the guys, and so being able to exercise my playing ability amongst the team, it was a good feeling. You never want to sit out, so it was yeah.
What was it like for you just during that stretch, working your way back, getting back healthy again? Just what was going through your mind, and what was that like physically?
I mean, I was in good spirits, obviously, but we have a good staff. Some guys stayed back with me when they were on the road trip. They went and handled business. We catered to the knee, got plenty of shots up. Took the necessary measurements to not be missing a step whenever I touched back on the floor. So that was the biggest goal.
As a fellow sharpshooter yourself, just what impresses you so much about Chris Youngblood and the way he goes about the game?
I love Chris. He's a player's player. I mean, he's really a professional, and he asks a lot of questions. He's a student of the game, and he can shoot the ball extremely well. He's continually working on his craft, trying to find ways to make an impact when he's out there on the floor. And so I can always respect somebody that studies the game and wants to continue to be better, and that's him.
You mentioned him asking a lot of questions. Just what are some things that maybe you pass along to him in terms of advice?
I think in our position as shooters, you make and miss shots, but you always want to find ways to stay on the floor, even with the shots not going in. So he always asks things about defense, or if he wants to find ways to squeeze off looks, like he's asking questions. He not only asks me, he asks everybody, and so he's a true student, and he's gonna grow because of that.
With the depth, I should say with the injuries, and couple that with the depth. How is it, going into this with a chance to, again, I know you guys are talking about it probably, but a chance to tie the history, 7-0, start the season, going into this matinee game, just finding that stride again. How's that been going the past couple of days?
Well, it's been good. I mean, we approach every game with the same intensity, no matter the record, no matter who we play, and we just try to put ourselves in the best position to win. I think any given night can be our night because we have the group of guys and we have the coaching staff that are able to put things together, game schemes and all that to go out there and handle business.
But you got a quick start there, especially after missing so much time. How did that feel? The day after, body wise and everything going into this next game.
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, making shots is what I'm supposed to do. So anytime I can go out there and do that and help the team win in the ways that I can, provide the most, it makes me feel good. But body feels great. Getting ready to tune up for our early game tomorrow, so we're excited for that.
Just looking ahead to that game, what's top of mind for you guys? Knowing it's going to be an early tip-off, but also know you have a hungry New Orleans team coming in.
Yeah, just be ready. It's not your typical 7 o'clock game, so take care of your body, do whatever you need to do to be ready whenever it's time to tip up the ball. And from there, it's a regular basketball game. We want to focus on ourselves and what we have to do to continue to get better.
Mark talked about kind of grading out shot quality from the outside. What do those conversations kind of look like for you guys?
For shot quality for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a team who we always want to get the best look possible, and we do a really good job moving the ball. So whenever somebody gets to the paint, we need spacing, we need cuts. And then once guys get the ball, being able to make plays with the ball, whether that's taking a shot, making the next pass, or getting back to the paint, whatever you need to do. But we're always in hunt of the best shot.
Mark, this New Orleans team, it has, a kind of a blend of some veteran guys, obviously Zion, who's a point of attack guy, but then also a young point guard. How do you kind of assess the threat that they're going to be in terms of the multiple things that you're going to have to do tomorrow?
Well, they're talented and they played really well last night. So obviously they're not off to the start that they want, but this is the type of game that they're going to try to use to get their stuff going. And so we got to be ready for a good punch, and we got to use it to continue to get better. I thought we made really nice progress in the Washington game. Those first 5 games became very quickly about endurance. And we probably had some slippage as a result of that. Might have been fatigue, might have just been the condensed schedule. Once we get our feet underneath us against Washington, we got better the other night. And so we got to continue to do that here. Practice today helped as well.
I was going to ask, I wonder what today is like for you as a coach, because you basically had 10 days where you couldn't even really have much of a shoot around or a practice or anything. So what did you prioritize and how did you prioritize today when you had, again, sort of a limited time, but at least you had some time?
Yeah, just maintenance of things that, like I said, can slip in the malaise of games that you get into. So we hadn't had practice since training camp. And so that's just the reality of some parts of your schedule. The overtime games obviously, made that even more difficult. But coming in today, being able to kind of get back to the basics, reinforce some things, clean some things up, add a couple things. We just haven't had much of an opportunity to do that, and so today was a good day for it.
As you prepare for this matchup, just what stands out about Jeremiah Fears?
I haven't watched them, a crazy amount, but just the aggressiveness. He's quick twitch. He's athletic, obviously. He can really score, touches the paint, and has a certain like boldness to him that is impressive for a young player. So there's a reason they took him where they did, and he'll only get better with more experience. But he's obviously off to a nice start.
Isaiah is obviously a guy who, Joe, knows his strengths, but what is it about him that allows him to just show up in character after missing the first 5 games of the season like he did?
He's quietly like accumulated a lot of experience here now, and so some of that stuff's like riding a bike, and some of that stuff you have to keep sharp, with your habits. But he worked hard during his return to play, and obviously we're conservative in terms of reintroducing people that are coming off of injuries. So he was definitely ready, obviously, but came in with great rhythm, and really, I thought, like I mentioned after the game, helped us function at a high level on offense, just with his spacing, his movement, his ball movement in that particular game, and the way that we can use him in the actions. All that showed up and gave us a nice little punch.
The Sorber's been at the last couple pregame warmups, kind of watching some of the guys warm up. Is that just him kind of trying to stay involved with the team as he recovers from his injury?
Yeah, it's always tricky with a long-term recovery like that, because if we have him with the team like every minute of the day, then he'd be here till 3 o'clock because he would have to wait to do all of his work, So like, it's necessary and practical to have him doing some rehab stuff kind of away from the team. But you also don't want him to be completely disconnected. So we try to thread a nice needle between team time, especially with like film, and stuff that he can participate in. And also like his own track. But he's a very like social person. He's extroverted. He's one of the guys. He's done a great job with the guys. They really like him, and you could tell he's like in the club, which he hasn't. He is, which having not played yet and being new, is a risk. And so he's done a great job. The guy's done a great job, and he's off to a good start.
It seemed like there was an energy level or effort, like extra level of effort off of Hartenstein a couple nights ago. I just didn't know if that registered to you. Not necessarily abnormal. He always plays hard, but like, was there something special about the way that he played the other night in a situation where maybe you needed that energy?
Yeah, I thought in the second half in particular, he was excellent. He really kind of changed the vibe out there with the screening, the rolling, what he does on the glass, what he does defensively. And he won us the Dallas game. Like, it's never about one person, but if you were to siphon out, who had the most impact, and when the game was in the balance, I mean, he made massive plays in that game and was outstanding. So he had a career year last year, mainly because of where he is in his career, but and he's poised to have another great year. This year he's off to a great start.
Coach, Brooks Barnheiser, I mean, you talked about him earning those minutes early on. 2 weeks in, into the season, he's still getting playing time out there. What has he done in this last couple of weeks? I know it's such a small sample size, but what have you seen that stood out the most about his game?
I mean, the biggest thing that he's done is like come in with the right approach, attitude, work ethic, and competitive level. That's the thing that stands out is, some guys, when they come into the NBA, they have to learn the level of competitions that the game requires, and he doesn't have to learn that. He has to learn a lot, but that's not one of the things he has to learn. So that's been impressive. It's been great. We've obviously had some injuries to rotation players, and that's never great. But the silver lining to that is the opportunities you can give other people, and the minutes we were able to get him in the preseason specifically positioned us to be able to put him in games to start the season, even in what is a narrow role. So he's done a great job. He's got to keep getting better. He will. He needs some blue time at some point because that'll allow him to really rep some things out. But in the meantime, he's doing a nice job.
Just to ask you about that, the starting up here, Just obviously with so much experience that you guys have now, what's it like kind of managing guys like CY and him who might potentially be, spending some time with the blue, but also, needing the bodies and needing them now?
Yeah, you got to thread the needle, and they only have 50 days, contractually. So some of that is just a constraint that you have to deal with. You don't really have much of a choice. So, we floated an inactive night the other night for Brooks for that reason. And we'll try to be strategic about how we use those days, and getting them to the blue when appropriate. But obviously there's a couple guys out for us right now, and we need to account for that, and prioritize that at the moment, which we are.